All right, welcome to Module 1, Plumbing and Fire Suppression Systems. So all of your modules will have a module introduction video. The purpose of the video is to just help guide you through different modules, so you know where to find the content, what kind of activities you're doing, just to help really allow you to understand the layout a little bit better. So within this module, we are combining obviously plumbing and fire suppression, even though they're two different things. They're both dealing with water. So for the sake of time in these, accelerated web-based class, I just combine the two together to try to knock it all out as one. So you'll see that there are module objectives here. So by the end of this module, you should be able to, knock out all these items. Some of this has to do, though, with understanding some of the lab work, which will come a little bit later through assignments as well. So just, again, based on the layout of this class and how much content we have to sort of cover in a very short time, I've broken those out to try to keep lectures and quizzes just throughout the modules, and then assignment work within your lab section, which you'll have access to in a little bit. The module guides here, I do want to walk through these. What these are basically the PowerPoints that I'll be giving you. You can do these if you want or not. It's up to you. It's more of a study session, a way for you to sort of take a look at the content and fill it in on your own. The reason why I do it this way is so that theoretically what you'd be able to do is go through the different guides here, instructions for all of them, different questions to consider within each of the guides, but then I basically give you semi-blanked out versions of all of the PowerPoints that I have so that you can go in and fill in the information as a means of studying and preparing for different things. So if you go through this and say, what is a force main? What is a gravity line? You can start filling in all the content here. And then when you actually pull up the regular PowerPoint that they're associated with, you can sort of check your answers, and that's sort of your own means of studying. Like I said, you can do it if you want. You don't have to. All of the different different lectures are labeled L1, L2, L3 all throughout. So you'll see that there's a direct correlation with your plumbing guide right in order with all the different lectures that I provide throughout the module. So once you get into the next section here with lectures and quizzes, I have combined multiple different lectures into what I would call a topic, right? Just try to streamline again a little bit. So for this topic, for instance, we have plumbing processes, materials, and valves. So with each of the lectures, I have a short video for all of them. Some are longer than others. I tend to talk for a little bit longer than I'm supposed to all the time. But these videos go hand in hand with the PowerPoint presentation for each of them. Some of them have different practice activities, so this one, for instance, for materials, is just kind of showing, based on the lecture and everything. What does this one do? We just have, schedule steel black 40 or black steel schedule 40. Sorry. You can click and drag any of these things into the different pieces, and check and see if you're right or wrong, right? So go through and check and say, oh, I was wrong with all those. So I should probably, let's see, how do I refresh? Oh, retry, right? So if I click in the right order here, it should work out. Okay, so you can see how that works, just showing different practice content that they can click through. It's all just for you as study guide material. You can take it or leave it. It's all up to you how you want to do it. Those are not graded. The lectures are obviously not graded. Sorry, just coming back here and caught up. But as you go through the different topics, right? So this one has 3 different lectures with it. There's a valve practice content as well. Then there's a quiz associated with this entire topic. So you can go through all that information, finish your quiz, and move on to the next one. So the quizzes each have 2 attempts at them. There's a due date for all the quizzes. I take the average of each of the quizzes. The intent, again, is to make sure look at education as a learning experience, right, where you're trying to get feedback, and getting something right doesn't necessarily mean you know it. So I'd rather see you try, put in the effort, and if you don't do well the first time, now you can go back, study again. You normally do a much better job the second time, and it ingrains a little bit better as you with the repetition. Because this class has so much terminology based, that repetition is a helpful thing. That's again, why we have, with this class particularly, it's about learning the language, making sure we understand a lot about how the terminology plays in from a managerial standpoint. Because if we don't know how to speak the language of MEP trades, then it's hard to understand what we're even talking about. So second topic here is drain, waste, and vent systems. So we just have a couple. I don't focus very much on the septic system. There will be probably a question or two throughout, quizzes and or final exam on the septic. But there are so many things you can go into depth on. It's hard to sort of pinpoint. Fixtures, appliances, equipment is another short one, and then we have fire suppression as its own. Some things like this, there's just a NFPA fire sprinkler demonstration. So spread throughout the course, you'll see different, not necessarily lecture content, but different resources within. And the last thing is the discussion post. So there is another PowerPoint here to kind of walk through a little bit. The discussion post will have, you can see here I need to update it, but a couple questions I wanted to revise. But the discussion post itself will sort of lay out everything that you're going to need to know. There's just an additional PowerPoint that you can go through to understand, maybe some different challenges and coordination type problems that you'll be dealing with plumbing systems. So that's pretty much the layout for Module 1. Pretty straightforward. All three of your modules are going to be based on, these topics, having a video lecture, the PowerPoint with them, having a guide associated with those, and then having a quiz at the end of each of the topic, along with a discussion post at the end. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And good luck.